Welcome to the Beyond Digital Transformation podcast. In this podcast episode of the Beyond Digital Transformation Connectivity and Communication stream, sponsored by Aviva, Sudbury I&O, the Glencore Company, and Mica, we dive deep into the topic of accessing operations data in remote-first mining environments. This panel was designed and hosted by Greg Sandblom, Superintendent of Innovation and Technology at Glencore, with panelist Milan from Raglan Mine, bringing the remote mine site perspective, and two subject matter experts with global mining experience, Roland from Cisco, sharing his deep knowledge of connectivity and how other operations are tackling this challenge, and Martin Provencher, sharing his experience of unique use cases involving mining company and vendor collaboration, of how and why mine sites would leverage their operations data to enhance and improve the reliability of assets for their operations.
Everyone, welcome to the next session in our connectivity and communication stream. This is our second session in a group of 4 panel discussions that we have. I'm going to run through a few introductions, but first I wanted to go through some basics about what Beyond Digital Transformation 2022 is all about. BDT is a platform for results-driven mining professionals who want to deploy systems that deliver measurable impacts for their mining operations, and each stream brings together 3 unique perspectives from mine operations, mine industry partners, and mine industry suppliers. And those perspectives here are brought together by the co-chairs of the connectivity and communication stream. The first is Charles Nibes. We have Martin Provencher from Aviva, who's one of our guest panelists, and myself, Greg Sandblom, who is with Sudbury's Glencore operations. So again, welcome to this session. In our first session for the communications and connectivity stream, we explored the general challenges and opportunities in connectivity in remote mining operations from 2 perspectives, actually. Working remotely from the site and also working remotely within the site. So for example, being underground and working away from your desk, how do we deliver information to those people who are remote actually on the site? And today we're privileged to have 3 distinguished panelists with unique views in this area. And we're going to talk in more detail about accessing operations data when working remotely. So on the call, we have Roland from Cisco. He's the global lead for energy and mining from Cisco. Milan, who is a senior mine engineer at Raglan Operations for Glencore, and Martin Provencher, who is the industry principal for Aviva. Again, thanks to the 3 of you for joining. I'm looking forward to having a great discussion, but I'm going to hand it over to the 3 of you to introduce yourselves in more detail. Roland, go ahead first.
My name's Roland.
Yeah, we're good. Go ahead, Roland.
Yeah, I'm with Cisco Systems, and I've been in the communications industry for about 25 years or so, and mostly in the Canadian market. I live in Calgary, Alberta, in the foothills, close to the Rockies, where it apparently is still snowing today. And of course, that's not a new thing for any of the Canadian mining people. First of all, I've been working in the global role, as Greg indicated, for a few years now, really working with mining companies around the world. A lot of activity in Australia and in Canada, 2 big hubs for mining, and also in the US. And so I'm looking forward to having this discussion. Of course, communications is a huge part of the mine operations these days. And so looking forward to having that conversation here today.
Thanks, Roland. We'll move on to Milan.
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Milan. I'm a mining engineer. I'm working for Raglan now for 9 years this summer. And I work also before Raglan for a mining equipment supplier and also for a consultant building a new mine. So I work on each side of the fences. And with my role at Raglan, I've been doing a lot of project in innovation, which mainly on equipment, where we introduce new type of equipment at Raglan, new technology, tele-remote, for example, other type of truck, and also infrastructures. But since the end of 2018, I'm one of the project lead to install telemetry, proximity detection, and geolocation at Raglan. We're deploying, once everything is deployed, now we're using the data. So that gives you a quick overview of my background.
Thanks, Milan. And next is Martin, and Martin's going to introduce himself and then share a video that we attempted to show in the first session, but it didn't work. The technology let us down. So I think we've got it working this time. We'll share that video afterwards and have a brief Q&A after the video is shown.
That's good. Thanks, Greg. So my name is Martin Provencher from Quebec, Canada. I'm the global industry principal for mining companies. I work actually with mining companies from all around the world. I'm also vice chair of the Maintenance, Engineering and Reliability Society of the Canadian Institute of Mining. Studied technology and artificial intelligence 30 years ago. Started in IT manager, things like that, and then moved to production director, so in charge of operations and maintenance for a couple of years. And then after that, from a personal interest, I wanted to go back to technology and to work with mining companies I love helping mining companies leverage data and technology to improve their performance. So that's basically my role within Aviva now.
Thank you, Martin. And we'll move to the video now. So I was going to ask a quick question on that because the video did come with a big portion of it was data unification and value that comes from data unification. And Martin, maybe you just comment on where you see early value on bringing that data together off equipment and so on.
Yes, for sure. There's a couple of main areas where companies are leveraging that data coming from their assets. Mainly two of the main areas, of course, health and safety, environmental compliance are critical these days. So a lot of companies are leveraging operational data to make sure that they can, for example, implement compliancy rules in their operational data platform. That's one of the big things. The other two main aspects I see where most companies are actually starting with is from an energy management perspective. So leveraging the data to help improve energy efficiency. This is one big thing that we see. And also the other one is from a reliability or maintenance perspective. A lot of companies are leveraging operational data to help them save a lot of money. Syncrude, for example, in Canada, they've presented they saved more than $20 million on their whole trucks, leveraging operational data. And the same for fixed assets. Rio Tinto at Kennecott, they saved more than $12 million on the first 6 months they've implemented predictive analytics. So these are just a couple of examples where we see that once you start leveraging the operational data and then you start using advanced analytics, there are hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars that you can save in terms of money very easily, if I may say it like that.
Good. That's great. Thanks for the perspective. We're gonna jump into our discussion soon. There's a few things I wanted to communicate to people. One of these our upcoming events. So 2022 upcoming panel events in June of 2022. We're going to carry forward what we're discussing today, and we're going to get into some case studies around telemetry, AI, cloud services for managing data, and so on. So that'll be in June of 2022, and in August of 22, we're actually going to get into the use cases. So what are the primary use cases? I think Martin touched on a few of them right there, but use cases as far as dashboards go, as far as using business intelligence to deliver data to the right people. That'll be coming in August of 2022. So we're basically moving forward in this as a journey within our stream panelists, and today is getting into the technology of how do we actually get the data and what do we do with the data once we've got it, and then it'll progress into the applications and how the data is used. Next, I wanted to talk a little bit about our BDT community. So first of all, it does bring the mining companies' perspectives to the table, and it drives industry collaboration. So it's miners helping miners. But the most important part of BDT is that since its inception, it's donated more than $100,000 to charities. And for 2022, the Sudbury Action for Youth is our charity of choice. Really appreciate all the work that's been done by Neha's team and the work that her partners have put in place to deliver. And thanks to all the sponsors who have donated and helped out charities, local charities in the communities that we work in. This year, I'd like to thank the sponsors for this stream, Redpath Mining. We're contractors and engineers, and they provide full service mining solutions around the world since 1962. And the other partner sponsor is Paystock Global, digital adoption specialists, and they help you achieve measurable results with your technology that you put in place. With that said, I'm going to jump right in. And again, this session is more getting back to the basics. How do we actually get the data? I think that we talk about all these great things that we can do with the data once we have it, but there's specific challenges that I think everybody on this call can relate to, and probably the attendance of the call can relate to. Just getting the data from operations into the hands of the right people is very challenging. So the first question I'm going to pose to the panelists is what is the most challenging aspect from a technology standpoint as it relates to accessing data when working remotely? Please jump in.
If I say for Raglan, which we're a remote site, accessing data is not easy just because we're not connected to the grid or to the internet. Our link to internet is a satellite. So in that case, everything needs to be on server that are on premise, so locally, where we need enough space, enough server, enough IT resources to maintain it or to fix it when there's a problem. Where when you're in what we call in the south, you can have your data in an Amazon cloud that if there's a problem with the server, they have multiple server as a backup. So I'll say that's a challenge for us where it took some time in 2020 to receive the proper server, install it, put redundancy. So that was our biggest challenge, is to build our network to receive tons of information and data.
Yeah, and maybe I can jump in here. From what I see with customers that I work with, um, network connectivity, especially for underground mines, is very often quite a challenge. But what's important to notice today is that there are lots of technology that are available today. For example, Wi-Fi technology has been used in a couple of places. Satellite network, of course, for open pit mine, Baffinland, Hiron mines here in Canada, they've used satellite communication. Of course, 5G, 4G, 5G networks are being used quite heavily. For example, Bulletin, ITIC mine in Sweden, they've implemented a 5G network. Here in Canada, Kirkland Lake Gold also implemented a 5G network. And also there's mesh networking technology that I see a couple of mining companies, Agnico Eagle, for example, BHP, some of them are using mesh networking technology. So there's a lot of technology available. Of course, you have to identify which one is the most suitable for your operations, but definitely the technology today is available. It's just a matter of selecting which one does fit the best for people's needs.
So Martin, are you referring to the technology